Sports are all about passion.
Whether it's getting out there yourself or watching your favorite team, sports bring us together and provide an outlet during difficult times. I'm Aixa Diaz.
And I'm Jared Hill. From kids to teens, adults of all ages, these are going to be stories that show you that you're never too young or too old.
And that's what it's all about, the love of the game. And what better place to share these stories than from the National Children's Museum, a next-generation children's museum and science center located in downtown Washington, D.C.
All right, so our first story is going to be from reporter Angel Salcido from KOAT in Albuquerque. He's kicking things off literally.
Yes, he is. He got pointers from two football kickers who are breaking barriers in their sport.
The Santa Fe Demons have two new aces behind them this year. Jazzy Gonzalez and Molly Wisman are the team's newest additions. They're soccer players, but now they split their time between the pitch and the football field.
The football coach actually came to our practice looking for kickers. We all tried a field goal, and then he picked me and Jazzy to be on the team.
This is their first season playing football.
It's been awesome. I mean, from the get-go, I felt really welcomed here by the coaches and all the players too.
But how different is kicking a soccer ball versus a football?
That's a completely different type of pressure. When I went to hit the first one-point field goal, I was like really stressed, but excited at the same time.
Jazzy and Molly are trailblazing high school football, pushing girls around the state to try the sport for themselves.
You're gonna be better than all the boys, obviously, because you're a soccer player. So I'd say just do it, don't be nervous. I'd say be confident in yourself. It starts with you. Just being confident in you is gonna really help you feel more in place.
And just before we left, I decided to have them show me how it's done.
You wanna hit it at the bottom third of the ball with the side of your foot right here.
I missed, and missed again. But eventually, Molly and Jazzy finally got me to put it through the uprights.
Let's go!
Not bad for a rookie. Angel also got to know a young man who is taking on a new game and running with it.
Always open.
This is Marco Ibarra. He's the definition of a student athlete.
Oh!
As star running back for St. Pius X, he's racked up 161 yards a game through 4 games this year.
Before every play, I think just one word, touchdown.
Hi, Mom! But believe it or not, his first love wasn't football.
I was actually a competitive gymnast for 9 years, nationally ranked gymnast. And then from an injury with my wrist, I decided to make a transition over to football.
Now he says he's found his home on the gridiron.
I knew I was going to be a Pius running back, and freshman year was actually the decision I made. I'm going to play college football.
He's a stud in the backfield, but he's a star in the classroom too, as a student body president.
And so I try to get that football side of it, the jock side, and also the student body president side, and try to merge them together as much as I can.
Marco's getting looks from Ivy League schools for his athletics and academics, but how does he do it?
Wake up at 6:40, leave the house by 7:15, school from 8 to 3, practice at 3:45 to a little after 6, eat dinner, start homework right away, and then hope I get to bed by like 10 or 11.
It sounds like a lot, but Marco says it's all to leave a legacy for his teammates.
I want them to know that I was all in everything that I do, on the field, off the field, and that I truly had a passion for everything that I'm doing. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't be doing it.
Oh man, any football team would be lucky to have Marco on their side.
Yes, and a big part of any team is the coach, especially when he's known the player since he was in diapers.
Hey, yeah, spread out, Brayden, spread out.
Meet Aiden Chavez.
Ready.
He's the junior quarterback for Cibola High School.
Set.
I got a little teary-eyed once I got like the varsity stickers and like the whole jersey, just because I knew that I finally I worked to it and I did what I hoped to be when I was like a middle school and elementary kid.
He's 6'5", but the shoes he's got to fill are pretty big, even for him.
And my older brother was starting quarterback for 2 years, and it kind of gave me aspiration that I wanted to be that one day.
Hey, but there's not a backside read on this though.
His head coach Rod Williams has known Aiden since he was a baby, and he's been behind him every step of the way.
And I actually coached with his dad. His dad has coached for a long time, and I just happened to go over one day, and he's like, hey, you got to come in here and take a look at my youngest one. You got to come in and take a look at him. And so I went in, and he's just this big, giant baby in the crib.
Williams has coached the Cougars for 9 years. He says he remembers watching little Aiden on the field.
I had a feeling he was going to play quarterback for Cibola.
Now he's a top-ranked quarterback in the state, but you wouldn't know it from his modesty.
I just like to kind of inspire people to keep doing what they're doing.
Coach Williams, on the other hand, isn't afraid to recognize the player and person that Aiden has become.
The biggest thing about him is he's always been an example in the classroom. He's always been an example on the field.
It's a relationship that will continue after football.
I just want to be the kid that worked hard and did everything that he needed to do to be successful.
I feel like after this, you know, he can always come to me for anything, and I could go to him for something if I needed something. I'm kind of like a second dad for him, and that's kind of been a neat relationship for us.
All right, coming up, two teams in Baltimore turned a rivalry into a friendly competition about a whole lot more than win. Stick around.
The pandemic has taken so much from us, but it's also brought out the best in many people.
Yeah, WBAL's Pete Gilbert shows us how sports are giving us hope no matter what team you're on.
Robbed of their spring seasons, longtime rivals Centennial and Mount Hebron High Schools found a way to renew the competition, but now in the name of charity and goodwill. They turned a rivalry into one big family. Mount Hebron's Fight for Five lacrosse tournament to honor former Viking player Evan Nicholson was of course canceled. Head coach Mike McCarthy, though, knew something could still be done.
So I came up with the idea to contact Centennial. They've been rivals of ours for nearly 50 years. You know, to come up with a competition to raise money for Zacking Against Cancer.
I hope that nobody's worried about me.
Zach Lederer, a 2011 graduate of Centennial, inspired so many through his battle with cancer. The foundation that bears his name will see many thousands of dollars thanks to the competition. And just what is the competition? The Suit Up Challenge. Players from each team don their uniform and share messages of hope. When a donation is made, the donor selects for which team. But listening to seniors from Hebron and Centennial, it's clear they're on the same team.
Not to say it's like a distraction, but I mean, it is to get, do something productive with our time instead of just sitting around, playing video games or whatever.
This is a time of uncertainty, and, you don't really know the situation and there's not a lot of hope. So having a cause, it really does bring that hope back.
Donate $10.
To further the fun, when benchmarks are reached, heads are shaken.
It's nice to wake up in the morning and kind of look at the, how much has been raised and kind of see the fun and creative videos.
After so much success so fast.
We want this Suit Up Challenge to spread so kids around the country can put on their jerseys or their prom dress or their dance recital uniform and talk about things that they've missed. And this gives them a chance to leave a lasting legacy that will be much greater than what we ever could have done on the field.
Let's stay in Baltimore, where the love of tennis is keeping one lady young at heart, and wait till you see what she did on her 100th birthday.
We first learned of Evelyn Schrodel thanks to her love of tennis, and as a 102-year-old woman who still likes to play the game, that piques a sports guy's interest. And she wants to share her love for the game as well, funding the now named Schrodel Tennis Center here at Goucher College. But after spending an afternoon with Evelyn, it's clear her story involves much more than tennis. First of all, it's hard to believe she's 102. She doesn't seem like someone who survived the last pandemic. Yeah. She had the Spanish flu.
Everybody in my family had it.
Oh my gosh.
Did
anybody die?
Nobody died. I don't remember it at all, but my mother told me.
A Baltimorean, Evelyn Dyke Schrodel has always been active, and tennis is her love for sure. But first, to better understand her zest for life, well, here's how she celebrated turning 100.
And you would be rappelling.
A rappel of 27 floors for charity. She says she really can't take credit. She's just not afraid of heights. All right, now back to tennis, where her staying power through the game earns her recognition from the United States Tennis Association.
I was interviewed by somebody from USTA recently, and I said, why? Why are you doing this? She said, because you're the oldest member of USTA.
But more than age, she's good too.
And I was playing in the USTA tournament. It was a mixed doubles, and it was over 45. And I had a very good partner, and we won.
Evelyn has not been able to play since the arrival of the coronavirus, terribly missing the camaraderie of her friends, but she takes great pride in making an impact at her alma mater, Goucher College. Wanting to give back to the school that taught her about the stock market and leave a lasting legacy, her answer was clear.
In honor of somebody I knew at Goucher, and I thought, that's a great idea. So I gave them a lot of money.
But the tennis center is not just for Goucher. She insists it be made public.
And there's so little in Baltimore for people to play now because so many things have been taken away.
Wow, 102 years young. And for young baseball fans in Baltimore, a PA announcer found a way to make all their walk-up dreams come true.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen.
The voice of Camden Yards, thanks to inspiration from a friend.
Colin Cosell, the voice of Citi Field for the Mets.
Who coincidentally is the grandson of Howard Cosell. Ryan wanted to engage with fans that so desperately miss their Orioles. Safe to say, he knocked it out of the park.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Number 25, Maddux.
It took off in a way that I don't even think we anticipated. I thought, especially when we added the video component, I think maybe it's a little bit of cabin fever setting in. People being stuck at home and running out of things to do.
Now back.
Wagner tailored walk-up calls for the videos fans provided.
Emerson Brooks.
More than 70 of them, and the response was almost overwhelming.
I don't think that there was more than 3 or 4 minutes that went by that we didn't have some type of interaction.
Section 34.
Technology is at a point right now where we are able to connect with each other more than ever before.
Now it's my turn.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Now batting for the Orioles, a one-time backup catcher at Woodfield Elementary. Number 11, please welcome
Pete Gilbert, WBAL, TV 11 Sports.
For athletes, there's nothing better than playing the game you love, and the game can sometimes take you to places you never expect.
Julia Morris from WYFF in Greenville, South Carolina, got to know 2 young people who say sports have changed their lives.
And now there is no telling how far they'll go.
Zari Dumas never planned on becoming a track and field superstar, but over the last few years, she's developed into one of the best sprinters in the country.
I just feel a rush of adrenaline. Like when I step in the blocks, everything else just goes away.
Today, Zari Dumas's passion is sprinting, but as a young girl, she was focused on a different sport. She started gymnastics at age 3 and quickly excelled. By the time she turned 9, her father, Jaja, realized his daughter needed a different challenge.
It was one of the gymnastic events that I attended where she was doing the vault. She had so much speed that she basically just stopped because she knew she had too much speed. That's when I knew, like, she has a little bit of speed.
Track is near and dear to Jaja's heart. He ran at North Carolina A&T. But Zari didn't initially share her father's love for the sport. When she ran 800 meters for the first time, she cried as she ran around the track.
And she came to me and she said, "Dad, can I please stop running 800? So I said, okay, this is what we'll do. If you run this time in the 400 meters, an open 400, then I'll let you run the 400. And so she did that, and the rest was kind of history after that.
The summer before my 7th grade year, I took a big drop in my times. So I was like, oh, I'm good at this. I can keep doing this well.
As a 7th grader, she made the varsity track team at Hillcrest High School. From there, the trophies and medals started to pile up. As a sophomore, she was named Greenville County's most valuable track athlete. She won the award again as a junior and was also named a New Balance Outdoor All-American. But Zari says she cares more about her team accomplishments than individual accolades. Last year, she helped Hillcrest capture its first overall state title in school history.
We just knew we had a chance to do something great, do something special. And when we did it, it was like, wow.
And Zari went on to earn a full track scholarship to the University of Houston.
Good luck. All right, so our next story shows us how a young fan reminds a college lacrosse team that sports are about so much more than putting points on the board.
When you look at 10-year-old Landon Hamilton, his smiling eyes and joyful demeanor don't tell the story of what he's been through.
He had a tube that came out of his back, a nephrostomy tube that came out of his back when he was like 25 days old, that had to drain the pus out of the kidney and had to have IV antibiotics through his PICC line in his head. So he was very sick.
Landon had 3 kidney surgeries before he was 5 months old. Today, his left kidney doesn't function, but his right one keeps him healthy.
He is more than we ever expected, and he is our miracle.
4 years ago, former Furman lacrosse player Jonathan Vandenberg heard about Landon's kidney problems and invited him to a game.
It changed our lives. It just changed everything. They got Landon a jersey and just made him feel like number one.
Since then, Landon has been a part of the team. He was on the sidelines for every home game, cheering his friends on. He even had his own locker. Most importantly, he shared the players' love for the game.
You get to run around and have fun. And unlike basketball, when you have only 13, you have about 50 people on your team.
Players say Landon has given them more than he'll ever know.
I mean, he's always there. He's always cheering us on. It's pretty cool when you come back from a big win or, I mean, even a tough loss, he always has a smile on his face, and that kind of gives you some appreciation for, it's not just about the game, it's kind of more than that.
His ability to keep a good mindset about everything, you know. He always has the positive energy, and that's something that it's hard to have sometimes, but he's had it his whole life, and he's been through way more than I've ever been through.
When you get to like a certain level, you sort of take it too seriously all the time, and it doesn't really become like the game that like you fell in love with to play. And he sort of like would bring that back, just because he was always like he just cheered everybody up and like made us realize like you have to have fun if you want to play this game.
When we come back, remembering and honoring previous generations.
Hey, Aisha, you ever heard the phrase "be a goldfish"?
Ted Lasso, that's right. That's the idea that goldfish have a 10-second memory, and athletes should too. Quickly forget the challenges of the past and be positive as you look to the future.
There you go. Sports director Travis Lee at WMTW in Portland, Maine shows us how one hockey player was an inspiring example of just that, even after a life-changing event on the ice.
It was here at North Yarmouth Academy where Travis Roy's stock as an amateur hockey player began to take off. And eventually, this arena became the Travis Roy Arena. In his first shift on the ice for Boston University, almost 25 years ago, Roy crashed into the end boards and was paralyzed. His story grabbed national headlines, and he would not fade away. Through the Travis Roy Foundation, almost $10 million has been raised for paralysis research and support.
He just inspires so many of us by the way he's conducted himself and most by his life work through the foundation and touching people with spinal cord injuries.
His story and work made him a mythical figure in the hockey community.
Came to our game at Roxbury Latin in Boston, in West Roxbury last January. And not only did he come to our locker room afterwards, but he wanted to visit the Roxbury Latin locker room and speak to their young men, which is, I mean, you got a standing ovation from both locker rooms.
Over the years, his friends marvel at his steadfast sense of humor and commitment to helping others. 5 years ago, he explained his mindset on the 20th anniversary of his accident.
I've transitioned. The anniversary and what we've done, it's I look at it differently now, and I do. I see the accomplishments and not the tragedy. I see the goodwill and the humanity that I've had.
Travis Roy's example has inspired so many others, like a young man from Portland, Maine, who was determined to play no matter what.
Aiden Darling came a long way to make it to senior day with the Portland lacrosse team.
I just like doing this. It's fun, it brings me joy. So I rest up until I have to come, and then I come.
Some days Darling has a hard time opening a water bottle or buttoning his shirt, as his disorder weakens his joints. He endured long episodes of physical therapy as a youth to be able to play any sports.
He was in AFOs, so he wore ankle foot orthotics for, I'd say 2 years probably. So back then I thought there was no chance that we'd be watching Aiden play anything, let alone running out there playing lacrosse. That's amazing to me.
While the odds for Aiden to continue his career this long may have been against him, he put in the work behind the scenes tirelessly to keep himself in shape to be able to play as long as he can.
Never complained, never felt sorry for himself. You know, from the moment we met him when he was a freshman, we've never viewed him differently than any of the other players. He's been one of the guys since day one, and that's how it's been for 4 years straight.
While Darling's athletic career may be winding down, he's planning to tap into his experiences with therapeutics,
and pursue a degree in physical therapy in college.
I just want to help people with the same problems that I had when I was a kid. So I want to help people the same way that people help me.
That same desire to help is why 4 friends are putting on their walking shoes in Portland, Maine, and heading to Beantown.
Friends and family members gathered at Sunset Little League Field in South Portland for a send-off for 4 lifelong friends embarking on a 110-mile walk to Fenway, just as their fathers did 48 years ago.
I'm feeling very excited. I'm proud to do this for our dads and raise a lot of money for cancer.
Joe McHugh was 10 years old when his father, Guy Erskine, Norm Payette, and Wilbur Wilds walked to Fenway in support of the Jimmy Fund.
Then all of us took a bus ride to the game when they ended up at Fenway. It was State of Maine Day. Governor Curtis, Johnny Pesky, all those guys were there to greet them. And we were in the stands and watched them, do their little thing on the field. It was cool. I mean, when you're a Little League player and you see your fathers on the field, it's awesome.
They did it back in '73, and I think a lot of it was to teach the kids something. And they didn't have social media or anything. They did it with tin cans and collecting as they went.
The childhood friends came up with the Fenway for Our Fathers plan a few years ago and planned to do it last year, but the pandemic pushed their plans back a year. The silver lining, an extra year of training for the 6-day walk.
We talk about training and getting ready. I think we're more ready than our dads were, but they had 2 decades on us. They were in their 20s, or actually in their 30s. We're in our, I say mid-50s, Joe keeps saying late 50s.
Dave McHugh is the last of the original group still alive. He's grateful for this tribute walk, 5 decades in the making.
I get a lot of, you say, love and respect for all of them. I really do. My son, I think, started it, him and Denise. But I get a lot of respect for them. But I didn't know they were going to do that. No idea. So they just said it's something they wanted to do. So it makes me feel proud. It really does.
We hope you enjoyed these stories of inspiring athletes from across the country. I'm Aixa Diaz.
And I'm Jared Hill. From all of us here at Stitch, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.